All right, people, welcome back to the coach's desk. I'm your host, Coach Minzy, and we have our guest, Manins Man. He's no stranger to you all. Everybody knows him. Just big up to everyone that is on right now that decided to take the time out to watch this video. And as we indicate, last evening we'll be dropping this video so that you can be aware of what is really happening with the Jamaican Premier League. After the Jamaican Premier League, really, there has been a lot of things that are swirling around. A lot of things have been said, some true, some not so true. So Maninsman has joined me just to, indicate some of the things that he knows of what is happening. But let me give you a little the league has ended, and there seemed to be a little bit of rumbling about some finances of the league. Yeah, where as persons are saying that the there's no prize money being paid out, and a lot more stuff uh, have been said about even the Chris Williams himself. Persons have been saying things about him, but we are here just to talk about this so that persons can have a better understanding. There is a voice note that is going around as well that it seemed to be an interview with Chris Williams and another individual, and he has been answering some of the questions that might be out there. Um, Management, welcome to the show.
Yes, sir. Yeah, man. Good to be here, man.
Yeah,
I'm
man,
good
good
to
to
be
have
here.
you.
Thanks for the opportunity to be on
Yeah,
this
man.
video. Very interesting thing to
Yes.
discuss. It's amazing because as we were doing this video, I just got some other information. So,
Yeah.
yes, just came in on my phone. So you get to hear it at the coach's desk first. Is that awesome?
All right. So, Martins, tell us what really is happening because with that voice note, I think it is about close to 20 minutes long, or that interview. What is really happening with this administration?
Yeah, I think the issue is not necessarily the truth in the voice note. I think it is the information that was sent out,
Hmm.
that written out information where the because there was a meeting and then
Right.
information came out from the meeting almost declaring that the PFJL is failing, and this is in comparison to what the league was when the PLCA was in charge. In other
Right.
words, the PLCA, which is the former operators of the league,
Hmm.
is really writing to say the present system of management with the which is the
Has failed.
P has failed,
Right.
and they are kind of citing some of the reasons why they deemed them a failure.
Let the audience have a better understanding of what took place in that meeting. Um, it was a professional football Jamaica Limited meeting. Present were Chris Williams, who is the chairman, Rudolph Speed, Finance Committee chairman, Donovan White, Commercialization Committee chairman, and he has run the organization in depth to over 36 million and counting, probably closer to 50 million. Now, the chairman has said that there cannot be any prize money because there was no profit. In fact, there is a loss. So, for the first time in history, Premier League has no prize money. He has told the clubs that they owe the debt incurred by his team. In fact, 29 million and counting is owed to Proven, of which he is the CEO. Another clear conflict of interest. The directors don't know what interest rate or arrangement is in place. Rudolph Speed, who is responsible for authorizing and ensuring proper good governance, respending, etc., has allowed overspending to take place and not manage the affairs of the company in a proper manner, claiming that person spent and he just have to pay. There is also talk of $1 million contracts being given out. Donovan White conveniently did not attend the meeting. They were also trying to blame the GM, Arlene Martin, but the clubs rejected that. For the first time in Premier League history, there is no prize money. The clubs are indebted to the chairman's company to 29 million plus interest adding daily. The clubs are indebted to creditors of an unknown amount. Sponsorship announcement by the chairman was inaccurate, as it seems that each club had 10 million sponsor each, pure PR. All of the loss and indebtedness coming after revenue of 123 million. And let me hasten to read the response given to that. Financials presented 30 days after season end historic.
Right.
External auditors hired and mobilized historic. Also, almost 200 million in sponsorship historic. 43 million paid out to clubs historic. All games televised historic. League executed in the middle of a pandemic with less than 1% positivity rate amongst the players. That's historic again. What are the facts? League lost 8 million. One sponsor signed a contract for 88 million and defaulted. Prize money will be paid. Proven owed 29 million, which will be repaid in November. 7 million in the bank and 36 million to be paid to us from sponsors in November. The Jamaican Premier League is a growing business and will need financial support from time to time. Bottom line, we are moving forward. So that's basically, in a nutshell, uh,
Exactly.
of what took place.
All right. So if you match both documents, you realize that there are some in
Inaccuracies.
are inconsistencies. Let's use that.
Yes,
Let's
yes.
use that. We're not going to say any side is inaccurate, but we
Right,
can
right.
say there is inconsistencies
Mm-hmm,
because on both sides it's not matching up. One is saying 130 million in sponsorship. One is saying that almost 200 million. So
mm-hmm,
that's kind of you look. There is some difference in that figure, right?
mm-hmm,
130 and 200 million major figure, right? And so that's important to identify. They are admitting that proven is owed 29 million, which will be repaid in November.
mm-hmm,
They didn't say that the prize money will not be paid. The other one,
mm-hmm,
the first information is insinuating or suggesting that
mm-hmm.
no prize money will be paid.
Right.
What was said is that there was no prize money available to be paid now, and that had to do with the default of one sponsor
Right, right.
to the tune of 88 million.
88 million.
There you go. Not only that, when the league initially started, you remember that there were several teams that were supposed to sponsor teams
Mm-hmm,
to a certain amount. Some of those companies have not paid over all those monies yet. So therefore, you would have this. But because the monies are not paid over, it doesn't mean that the monies will not be available.
mm-hmm,
So to suggest that a league that was able to generate so much funds is failing and addressing the things as first, I think that, like I said, that there is a disingenuousness about how things have been communicated back to the public,
mm-hmm,
and that is the problem. Now, the thing sometimes is when you have persons who are outside of the system, and you know this, Coach Menzi, that are coming in to help, they also operate businesses, and if they
yes.
feel like their names are going to be dragged through the mud
They will not return.
because they have nothing to lose. In other
Mm,
words, they have more to lose by being engaged in a system where people
exactly.
don't care about tearing them apart. So, what would know? Why would Chris Williams say it is better for me to step away from this?
Mm-hmm.
And then what will happen? We revert to the PLCA where the clubs were complaining. Is this a fight in the football between the PLCA and the PF um JL,
PFJ.
PFJL?
Uh-huh.
Is that the conflict? And no matter what monies are there, we have never had so much money in the football.
Yeah.
The
And as the second document said, all of those things are historic.
historic. And then the teams admitted that some of them have not been paid they should have been paid in September. We just started November. And so really, It would have been better if they were paid, but things happen. And I think it must be given time,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because again, everyone knew, I knew that there was a $88 million sponsor during the league. Remember, it is not like before the league. During the league, one sponsor pulled out. You are going to have a shortfall.
Mm-hmm.
Now, again, let's look at what Proven has done. The person who heads the the committee, the PFJL, is a CEO at Proven. All right. Now somebody pulls out and you need money to buffer the league. Your company can do it. Why not? Why not do it? So you're going to see a conflict of interest. All right. Where was it going to come from? Isn't it a good? I see it this way. It's a good thing. It's a good thing that we had someone who, in the middle of a season, could raise money to continue the league,
Rather than it stopping.
because the previous organization, they weren't dealing with so much money and players were still not being paid. Referees were still not being paid. All of those things were still an issue. So what difference does it make? So that is my take is, listen, the thing worked, the amount of monies that was here, um, it made sense, it worked. It don't seem to me like come the middle of November, um, there is going to be an issue. So
Mm-hmm.
the
Mm-hmm.
middle of November, they get the rest of the money from the sponsors and they pay that over. The team that won the league is not complaining. The second place team is not
Not
complaining.
complaining.
And then the fourth place team is not complaining. I know those three teams are not complaining about the prize money and wanting it.
So could
So,
there be some troublemakers about?
so that is what now, Coach Minzy. I believe that there are people who, for whatever reason, are stoking the fire.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it is a part of it's a general, I think it's a general sentiment in football circles, that there are persons within football circles. If it is not me, I'm going to cause problems.
Right.
It's like the head of our, there was a time when we had a change in administration at the top level of football in Jamaica. And I think Creston Boxell was a person, and that 4 years of football in Jamaica was a lot of problems. And you find the
Mm-hmm.
same thing whenever there's a changing of the guard, there seems to be a vindictiveness in terms of how we operate with each other in the football. And this have the order of vindictiveness and not the good of football. Like there is some trouble, like being stirred in the whole thing, because I still when when I first heard, I'm not talking about the voice note, but when I read the thing from the whole outline in the meeting,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
this thing says has run the organization in debt to over 36 million and counting, and then it says and probably closer to 50 million. Brethren,
Mm-hmm.
36 million is far from 50 million, you know. That's a 14 million gap. So it don't sound like you have, um, you know, like a number in mind that really make any sense. All right. So it speaks about rule of speed, who is being able, and about contracts being signed. There is also talk of $1 million contracts being given out. That's like, I mean, how you going to put out something in a responsible position like that and say $1 million contracts are being put out? What does that mean? That the contracts that were put out, they are not worth $1 million? Like, what does that mean, Coach Minzy?
Mm-hmm.
If contracts have been put out, is that wrong? What is wrong about the contracts being put out? If you give out a contract for ambulance for $1 million, is something wrong with that? Is the wrong thing is that the amount of money being given out, or who the contract was given out to? Yeah, what is the issue with contracts being given out? It's not clear.
It's not clear at all. Not clear at all.
So you look at the issues and you're wondering, what is the purpose of it? There is no prize money. And so the person who wrote this is really causing trouble
Mm-hmm.
because obviously they know that it is no prize money now. And you and I know that generally, even in Champions League, you don't get the check right away.
You don't get it right away, or nor the next day.
There you go. All right. So the clubs are indebted. So, like, even this whole part, the clubs are indebted to the chairman. So remember, for example, Mount Pleasant was one of the sponsors. Say they
Mm-hmm.
were supposed to give 10 million, they gave 6 million. All right. Somebody had to come in and give the other four so that the right so that the club would not have to wait on Mount Pleasant.
Right.
So when Mount Pleasant when it says that the clubs are indebted to, here's why. Because when Mount Pleasant, and I'm just giving an example,
Yeah, man.
Mount Pleasant comes and give that money, that club is no longer indebted
Mm-hmm.
to the chairman.
Right.
Because what they did is forwarded money to a club and
Mm-hmm.
they decided that they would wait on a Mount Pleasant. The problem is if the sponsor don't fulfill their obligation, I think that is where a problem would arise.
Mm-hmm.
So, like I said, for me, it just comes across like somebody trying to cause problem. Like they were also trying to blame the GM Arlen, but the clubs rejected that. Remember that you're talking about Rudolph Speed as well. So when you said the clubs, Rudolph Speed owns a club.
Mm-hmm.
Mark Golden is a chairman of a club. Like who are the clubs? Are which one of the clubs? All right. Donovan White conveniently did not attend the meeting.
Mm. That's insinuating
All
something.
right. Remember now, remember this coach. There was a big incident between Donovan White and Portmore United
Mm. Oh, yes, yes.
in the season when about the Premier League and 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 how Portmore did not qualify.
Mm-hmm.
So some of the times when you see these things, you realize that there are other under the surface things happening that is leading to some of these discussions.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely correct. And Chris Williams in that voice message that I listened to had indicated that he doesn't want anybody to mess with the league and say all manner of ill things against the league or towards the league. He's saying that he should be blamed if anything or anyone should be blamed because so first he's been in this administrative position in football running this league and mistakes would have been made, but all he wants is that persons to know that we don't blame the league. The football was good, many things were historic. Just blame him, but he will actually put back things on track because I believe, and what he's saying is that he can get back things in order, and basically the second response is saying that things will be worked out by mid-November, like you said. So we are hoping that good sense will prevail, and whatever is the case for putting this forward is not to get rid of this, you know, this committee, this body, but that
Exactly.
the football will improve and it will grow from strength to strength.
So
You know
here
what
they
I mean?
might they ended this thing by saying point number
Mm-hmm.
5. What are the facts? They have 7 million in the bank plus $36 million to collect. When you add those two together, I'm not so good at maths. That look like 43 million. So even if the 50 million is accurate, they already have 43 million
Mm-hmm.
in receivables and what is in the bank. So maybe it's much ado about nothing.
Yeah, yeah.
It seemed like to me it's much ado about nothing. Like someone just said, listen, these guys don't know what they're doing. We should be running this. I mean, how did they come in and remove us? Who are they? We are the
Yeah.
juggernauts of football. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
we have been here and seen. I mean, and we need to get back in this. We need the old guard to come and take back its rightful position, because this is us. This is our thing. We can't afford to have these newbies come in and take over. We need,
Mm-hmm.
like, and that is, listen, that is the Jamaican football culture to you. The fear of youth and young people coming in to
Yes, yes,
show
yes.
up. Like anything that shows up, the old guard puts pressure on the old guard to want to retake and reclaim
Mm-hmm,
position.
mm-hmm,
And I
mm-hmm.
think, to me, this is how this sounds.
Yes, yes, absolutely. So, you want to drop that information that you said just came in on your phone?
No, you read it. You read. You read it. You read it.
Oh, it's the
That's,
same thing I
yeah,
read.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah. But
I,
you look like you had it. You had it
yeah,
long
man, I
time.
had it. I had it a good while now.
You had it
So,
a good while.
what's your final take of this, man? Do you believe that good sense will prevail and we just have a smooth thing coming out of this rather than he say, she say, bickering here and there?
Listen, one thing I'll say with Chris Williams, he seems to be professional in what he does. I don't hear him calling names and labeling people. He seemed to speak truthfully from what I've heard, what I've
Mm-hmm,
seen. So I expect him to fulfill all the financial obligations. I think those things are going to be met. I get a feeling that some of the people who sponsored um, don't have the money. I I have a feeling like like I'm going to do some investigation and let you know. But I feel like some of the persons who offered up the $10 million, they did it in anticipation of the league at some point being opened up
mm-hmm.
so that they could generate some income
Right.
some other way and have some of the money, and that didn't happen.
That didn't, yeah.
So yes, it's out for me. I think some of those persons who have not given over the sponsorship money may be looking at doing it in the upcoming season,
Mm-hmm.
right? Not only, if that is not the case, what is going to happen is that that sponsor that they had that forfeited, that defaulted on them, if they are going to get an ex sponsor in that level, which will help to offset some of these things. So I think at the end, because of I Chris Williams, I trust.
Yep. And as as I've said before, I think he was the one who actually, because of his leadership style, leadership qualities, he would have gotten these sponsors on board. He would have persuaded the people to get on
Yeah.
board to support such a well-run league last season. And certainly, we are looking forward to the league coming up in December, where the kickoff will start. Manins man people will be doing a lot on the Jamaica Premier League. So I want you to go over to his channel, support him. He does a whole lot of work. Man, is matter of fact, you tell them what is happening over on your channel.
Yeah, man. We're doing the Legends Corner, having a lot of interviews with many of the past players. We're looking at, I mean, it is amazing, like when you hear these stories and how some of these issues Coach Minzy, I think, is no.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
We have, like, it is not no that we have in player not getting paid, players not getting the stipend, like jersey situation. All of
mm-hmm.
these situations with the national team have been
Nothing new.
around. They are nothing new. The sad thing is that it's amazing. Like I'm here in 2021 and hear people sharing from the 1970s, and I'm saying, but nothing really hasn't changed. You have a man playing for Jamaica in the 1970s. That's what, 50 years ago. We have the same issues today. Like it's baffling. So I want people to hear some of these things, because sometimes we need to understand where we're coming from so we can know where we are going. And I think part of what we have done is the older players sometimes dismiss the new players, and the new players are the new parties in football dismiss the old. I think there needs to be a merger of both sets. So that's what we're doing. I mean, there are many transfers and changes happening also in the local Premier League that you're going to hear about, like Benbow moving and you know um you know, Keith Simpson and the Zalano Barnes and whole heap of changes at Arnett Garden. So check out the channel, I Am Sure Sports, and you'll get all of the local information about what is happening in the JPL and with schoolboy football that is about to start on the 13th of November as well. So check out I Am Sure Sports. And again, thank you, Coach Minzy. Always a pleasure doing, shows with you. So
Yeah,
people
man.
have to keep supporting the coach's desk. He has all the knowledge. I'm trying to steal some, so that is why.
No, man. We not steal it, we are share
Yeah, yeah,
it.
sure.
Yeah, man. So, people, thanks again for tuning in. Really appreciate you being here again. We have come to the end of this video, and we tell you thanks for just being in front of your laptop, your television, your phone, your tablet, just to listen to us. We appreciate it. You know what I mean? And we are happy that we can present, a platform like this for you to come out and enjoy sports, especially those over there in the diaspora. Big up on yourself. Like I say, stay safe. And until next time, peace out.